That Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game where it was like that. All those suck, by the way. I own like every single one of them. They all suck. I want them to be good. Yeah, it's like 2K, bro. I bought 2K yesterday. I'm cursed. I can't stop. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do this to myself. Welcome, Nerd Chatter, a weekly podcast where we discuss stories throughout the week from the film, gaming, and tech industries. Joined today by Lucas and Kenny. What up, guys?
What's happening?
What's up?
On this week's show, we discuss the state of gaming after state of play. But before we get going, depending on what platforms you're listening to the show on, make sure to hit that follow button and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. And if you're listening on YouTube, you know, all that like and bell business. So we're going to go ahead and kind of compress the show into like one major discussion point and kind of go from there, and then we'll do the roundup and all that. So this week we're going to focus on the state of play. And I guess all the other shows. What was the other ones? Like Nintendo Direct and...
yeah, I apologize for that one.
And Xbox's Developer Direct.
Developer Direct,
yeah. So we're just going to talk about gaming because I'm not sure if these are like the E3 substitutes or... I mean, these are every year. And we got E3 coming up, and they've announced that they're not going to be involved with that. And I think Nintendo just clarified that they're not going to be showing up at the show.
Yep.
Microsoft isn't, and Sony isn't. So whether or not this is like their full-blown E3 presentation, I'm not 100% sure. More info of other games might come out around E3. I'm not sure, but I don't know. What do you guys think of the state of play?
It was same old. I guess this year from like the other two. Didn't really like it. Like it's just trailers to me.
Yeah.
Like we were talking before. Like it's just I don't know. I think these like stayed like developer directs and like games like direct, like they should be more like in depth. Like if you're like touting like, oh, they're gonna be like these are what we're showing, like you should go into depth. And like this last one, there was only like one game that went into depth of like what's actually going on in the game.
Yeah. We had like Street Fighter 6 and what was the other one? I mean, I know there was a lot of
Suicide Squad was the only one.
Suicide Squad.
Really,
yeah, that was like the highlight of the whole showcase. I mean, if you pin it against the other two, Nintendo Direct and Sony State of Play are pretty much the same. At least with Xbox's one, the Developer Direct, you took a handful of games. It wasn't a lot like we had discussed on one episode, but you allowed each developer to introduce the game and showcase what was going to be new about each game.
Mm-hmm.
On these ones, you're just getting trailers. I can watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with like E3 and these particular type of standalone shows is like E3, it's like they bring up the DICE developers, and then DICE will have their 15 minutes or whatever where they're like, you know, like, we know that you guys like FPSs and some of you are like really strong fans of the Battlefield, you know, series and blah, blah, blah. And then they'll lead into, okay, here's what we're releasing. Here's the new technology. Here's like the new guns. Here's the new engine. Here's Frostbite, blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
This is more of like, just like a hodgepodge of varying scales of trailers, right? Because you get like really random, like what the fuck games, like, you know.
Okay, so like you got tossed in with Nintendo's, was it like 35 games, right?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to just off of just a trailer be decisive of like, oh cool, that looks like a good game, I should go get it? And that's exactly what Sony did. It's just lazy to me.
I mean, it seems like they need to convey what people are going to be expecting, and then they just put together, you know, like you get the shitty trailers in the beginning, and then they start getting a little bit more notable, and then towards the end you get like your one or two big trailers. It's almost like they just want to do those two big trailers or whatever, and then just they need to fill the time. So I mean, you'll get some really, really amateur indie games that pop up on the screen, and you're like, what is this? Like, why am I looking at this shit?
As like a showcase, they should allow those indie companies at least 5 minutes to introduce their game and say like, you know, this is what we were looking at in this game. This is what we were hoping, you know, we found in gameplay
here are
throughout
the
the years, you know. So
here's
this is
what you have said, what you've suggested,
and we brought it to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't own a PlayStation, so I wasn't really too interested in the state of play. I mean, I watch it because this is where your more flagship games would be announced, and like I said, I mean, you had Street Fighter 6, which, I mean, for Street Fighter players, it's been a while since Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And I remember, after
Those were
golf,
like 10
Ty
10
would come to
years?
my house with,
Oh
with
my
like
god,
Frank
those Street
and-
Fighter tournaments.
Yeah, we have little drunk Street Fighter tournaments in my bedroom and shit,
Shit, we played Street Fighter at my brother's wedding, like beforehand,
Oh, that's right.
like getting ready.
I was actually getting ready. That's right.
We don't want to bring
But,
up
like,
that time again.
Ty
I
and
mean,
my
your brother's a
brother were
Zangief
fucking-
main, I
Yeah.
think. No
Hey,
respect.
Zangief was showed off today. Or
Yeah, because
Yeah, he's actually brought back in this one.
Shit. Everybody loves that. I mean, all the outrage aside from Cammy's ass not being as luscious as previous generations, like missing outfits, people getting all bent out of shape and shit. It's like, relax, guys. As far as like a different fighting experience, I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks in the same vein as any other Street Fighter, but with slightly better graphics. I wasn't a big fan of that transition between, the original style of 2D fighting to that 3D Street Fighter 5 vibe. Like I was
Right.
never really a true big fan of it. And this just looks more of that, but I mean, people love it. I'm not going to talk shit on Street Fighter. It's kind of like Counter-Strike where it's like it has to be revered.
it's the OG fighting game.
Yeah, it's the one
Well, I
that
think it's more the arcade style that everybody misses.
Yeah, well, I remember that arcade next to Cal Poly. Is that the college? What's the college over there?
Cal Poly and Pomona?
Yeah, Cal Poly Pomona.
Yeah, Cal Poly Pomona. But there's an arcade right across the street. I believe in the same parking lot as like a Jack in the Box. And that was the...
Oh, yeah. No, it's across the street from Mount Sac.
Is it Mount Sac?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pomona's down the street. That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
over the hill. Yeah.
Yeah, so over by Mount Sac, Mount San Antonio College, across the street, they were like the first, I think, like one of two arcades in the United States that had a stand-up Street Fighter cabinet. And I remember when that word got out, that was just insane. Like, this was before the game came out, like on consoles and shit. So, it is huge in that. I mean, they got their fucking fight pads and shit.
Yeah, it's got the nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
Any pro person is playing on a like a joystick converter.
Yeah, their arcade pads and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things you got to revere at Street Fighter. It's like Smash. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what else comes out, you're always gonna kind of go back to Smash being the best.
Exactly.
I mean, you got Mortal Kombat. We got some news about Mortal Kombat and stuff, but like you got Mortal Kombat, and you got other
Is it like
games.
16?
12.
12, yeah.
Upcoming on 12. So I mean, you got Injustice, you got other games that are in the running, but really it's Street Fighter being like the OG. But the big one that, I mean, this is inundated with PSVR 2 shit. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean,
everything
it's their new
PSVR
tech
2?
that they got to bring out, right?
It's the tech
Yeah.
that they slashed in half because they had minimal amount of pre-orders.
Because
They
nobody wants to get
gonna-
motion sickness.
Well, I mean, from what I hear, like some of the technology has been advanced, and like somebody was playing, I think, Gran Turismo on it, and was like, it's insane. I get like absolutely no motion sickness, and it's like incredibly immersive and all this. That would be like my angle. The reason I would get a PS5 would be so that I could get a PSVR 2, but by that point, you're looking at $1,000 investment.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
And if
out
I'm
of
looking
that
at
one.
$1,000 investment, I'm gonna get like an HTC. You know what I mean? It's still a novelty in my eyes, right? Like we're still in like novelty range for VR. So when I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, I think they were like doing like 2 million for PSVR at launch, and they cut that to like 1 million for PSVR 2 because the hype wasn't there. Even though these games are getting like insane and like more advanced.
I mean, the ones that they introduced weren't that crazy.
Yeah, what did they have?
So they brought in the first game they show is Foglands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wild. I got the Wild Wild West vibes from the Will Smith movie out of that thing. And for being a VR, you want games to be more in depth, and this was just basically like taking the controller out and just making your hands a controller. It's not a lot of these games, I guess you could say, didn't make me want to go out and get a VR.
Yeah, there was. I'd have to look. No Man's Sky No Man's Sky alone would be like, oof, I don't know, like that would actually be pretty sick, to be honest. Because just how No Man's Sky works, it fits perfectly if you were in that suit. You know what I mean? If you were in the eyes of the player even more, that experience would be, improved upon. You get like Half-Life Alyx, for example, for PC, where like that VR is like, oh, it's so clunky, and you get a lot of these like VR games where you don't really have free movement because of the method of moving your character freely in an environment where your head looks around is like off-putting and does cause issues with like motion sickness and stuff, because ideally you want your body to be controlling the movement and your head moving freely so that it feels like you're in that area. But if you're using joysticks to walk around, there's a slight conflict between your orientation and where your head is, based on like where your controller movement is going. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's an issue. And they got those standing devices where you like stand on the platform and you can walk, and it feels all weird. And
type thing.
it's like bowed, and you wear shoes that have little nubs. And on the bowl that you're standing in, it has receivers for those nubs, so like it knows where you're going, and you can kind of get some tactile feel going on. But you look goofy, and like it still looks clunky and all this shit. So I don't know. I think that's my issue with VR, is like it seems like it'll always be a novelty because of that disjointed experience between like moving and
you want to use this showcase to bring this new technology that they made to the forefront. You want to use everybody watching this, millions of people watching this on YouTube. We're streaming this, and they're talking about the new tech VR2. It has like eye tracking, motion movement type thing. They announced these 5 games, and these 5 games that they announced just don't make it where you need to go buy a VR2.
They didn't like showcase anything new to that I would see like in like older VR.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a golf game.
This thing came out this past week. I think it came out like on Wednesday, the VR2. So you're using this showcase to trampoline this thing up into, like, go buy a PlayStation VR2. But the games you're showing me are just like, one was Green Hell, which is basically I got like a lone survivor type kind of game. So like, if you ever wish that you were going to be on the show Survivor, go make some huts out of some bamboo.
So Green Hell is a game that's existed for a while. I've played it. It is a slog, man. Like, that's the game where it's a basic survival game, You're trapped, you got to worry about your health and your well-being. This game emphasizes well-being. So it's like you're crawling through like swamps, you'll get leeches. You jump over a rock, you could twist your ankle. You pick up something too heavy, you can fuck up your wrist, I think. And like, or cut yourself, and then you get infections, and it's all about like taking care of yourself. It's kind of like in the same, this is not a direct comparison, but not like free roam games compared to like Death Stranding, right? Where there's a lot more care taken on the act of movement and interaction with the environments than there is your end goal in game, right? So like, you're always concerned about your well-being in Green Hell. You got to burn the leeches off. You got to use certain plants and mixtures of plants to make like antibiotic type, things, and you got to make bandages to stop the bleeding, and it's all about surviving in that game, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. So it's like, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to think about that game in first person, bro. Like, I just no. The amount of bullshit you got to go through in that game is hell. So I'm surprised they chose that game to be it. You know what I mean? But like I said, No Man's Sky is like a good choice, because that would enhance that experience. I can only imagine Green Hell just being 10 times more frustrating and just unplayable. That's my opinion. Sorry, Green Hell fans out there. I know you exist.
They just clicked off right now.
Yeah. we got 10 minutes. We're good. We got that.
The next one they showed was a game called Synapse, which was a futuristic type shooter. Again, you look at you could take an old VR and still play that game, because it's not taking anything of the new tech.
Yeah, it kind of just reminded me of like, was there like Red Hot or something like that? Like
Super Hot.
Or Super Hot, yeah.
Super Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the game, actually. I just played it right now. Super Hot. That's all it does. Games that don't have free movement are the ones that benefit the most from this technology. And that's why I say golf. I know there's golf games out there, and they're like, it feels really good, it feels fun, and blah blah blah, but it's not accurate. Like you're not gonna put on a headset instead of going to the range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But games like racing games where you're fixed, maybe like Elite Dangerous, where you can't really get out of the cockpit. You can now in newer versions of that game, but No Man's Sky, where the emphasis is being in the cockpit and being able to free look around and that type of thing. And secondarily, you move around and you're not really too concerned about your surroundings. There are concerns that you should have, but all in all, it's about feeling that more. I don't think we'll ever reach a point where, I mean, this is talking a lot, but when it's like, I don't want to talk too much. It's like, I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we're playing COD in VR. You know what I mean?
I mean, you do that, you got injuries coming up on you.
People running into walls.
Yeah, somebody's running into a wall out of a window.
We already got injuries. People fucking boxing and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you look at Synapse, it kind of gave me, like, I was watching the whole trailer, of course. You kind of get like a Portal vibe out of it. Because you're moving stuff with the telekinetic powers that they give you.
A game that would benefit from something like that.
So it's using, at least this one is using the eye movement that the new VR2 is using. So, wherever your eyes are going, that's where you're going to be able to move a lot of your stuff. So it takes a lot of, like we were talking about, you take a lot of that hand stuff out of there.
But it seemed like there was like not a lot of like free movement to it. Like it was more just like a linear, like
on the rails,
like a fixed track. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the ones where you like point where you want to go and then it like teleports you there and shit. I think there was a Squanch games at one point that was like that in VR, if I'm not mistaken. Might be wrong, but you know what I mean? Like where it's like, oh, I'm going to climb Mount Everest in VR, and then like you really just kind of point at the ledge that you want to go to next. And
what is that street? The street view for Google Maps?
Yeah, like one arrow at a time type shit. Yeah, like those old games, like back in the early '90s and shit. You know what I mean? Like the story games where you click things and you interact with the whack. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like they got, I think it's called Boneworks or something like that on PC. Some of the most immersive and amazing first-person free movement experiences you can have. Shooting and loading weapons, melee combat, things like that. There was a game where it was like kind of like an arena game. You're using swords and shields, and it looks clunky, but it looks super fun. Where it's like, damn it, I want to just fuck with that. Where a person like throws a sword in the air, runs forward, jumps off of somebody's back in midair, grabs the sword, and then like comes down on another AI, and then like uses their head as a projectile as they fling it off their sword to like knock down. It's like, I wanted that type of shit. You know what I mean? But I don't think we'll ever get to a point where with this type of technology we'll get that. It will literally be like that Sword Art Online. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen that AI or that anime. But it's a premise. It's an anime based on, to all the weeboos out there are gonna be so pissed off that I'm explaining Sword Art Online because it's so basic. But like Sword Art Online is like, it's a world where there's a VR headset, but it uses a chip to where you just kind of lay down and you live inside the game until you log out, and then you wake up and you go about your business. But that technology is where it's like it really just kind of plays in your mind. And the headset is there as just a means of you kind of getting into this game. Far-fetched, but something that they've been fucking with. It's not far-fetched too much. You know what I mean? Like, there is ongoing attempts to make that type of technology. We'd have to have some fucking console level auto aim going on if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what else do they have on the show?
They took Journey to Foundation. So this is based off of a classic sci-fi series, Foundation, if nobody's ever seen it. You could go look at it and watch it on Apple TV Plus. They're streaming the whole series right now. But you just basically, it just mimics the whole series. If it's just a sci-fi land type thing where you just go through missions, you walk around. That's pretty much it.
I bet by the time. I think I have Apple Plus streaming or whatever the hell that is. I might check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's just basically, if you're gonna watch that, you might as well just watch you're playing the game. They got one more VR game that they actually introduced, and it's called Before Your Eyes. So what they did is that they just basically made this emo game. You remember Click, the movie with Adam Sandler?
Yes.
Yep.
So you take that where you can like relive certain memories, and if you want to cry during a game with a VR headset on, you could totally do this. You have like this wolf guy that like takes you around. I don't know what the hell he was, wolf or coyote, some sort of animal that brings you around, and you can relive certain memories that you did throughout your gameplay. And they're kind of fucked up, dude. Like some of these memories are like, it's definitely not for kids.
So it's more of like a heady game. One of the It's not gonna be a bestseller type shit.
Probably not.
No game of the year competitor.
I think it was like more of like an indie game too. The last one they showed was Humanity. Did you ever play that?
No, I've heard of that though.
That looks weird. So it's like a puzzle. It's a puzzle solving game on a platform, and you got to move like a bunch of people around, and then like there's this giant dude walking around.
Yeah.
And then like the group of people get more and more, and you have to like kind of corral them into
like lemmings.
Yeah, but I guess you're like a dog or something that like glows. So yeah, dude, I was watching this and I was like, this is fucking weird. Like, man,
sheepdog
just
game.
cattling and people around, you know. I probably had like an innuendo to the future of what we're going to be going against, you know. And I guess like you use your head as a dog, you tell the direction of the people where to go. So if you flick up and you point up, everybody starts jumping. And then like there's this giant glowing dude that comes around and starts like demolishing all your people. It was weird.
There's so much more potential for this platform for VR. Like, I get it. Where's my follow up to like the saber fighting, like Star Wars lightsabers and shit like that? Like, why do we not have like dueling games? Why do we not have like quick draw games, westerns, that type of thing? Like, there's so much out there, but instead they think of the technology first, and then they're just like, okay, so let's make a game around it. And it's like, no, bro, like find things that we want and then utilize the technology to give us something new. Like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, like better like Crisis games and shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you know, I'm not, you know, hey, I have an open mind when it comes to VR. I'll give it some time, but shit right now is like, bro, this is lame, dude.
Yeah, it's just they just wasted a showcase, you know, just to show five of these games that don't show a lot of potential, and it's not. I don't know if these guys sit around and be like, "What would I want?"
Yeah, me
you know, like what? No, not they're gamers. Their developers are gamers. They should be like, dude, we thought about these types of games. Now we have the technology to do this. Let's fucking roll with it.
I mean, I think taking into consideration that a lot of them like were gamers, and then once they get into the industry, they simply just don't have the time to like kick back and play games like they used to. And then on top of it, they probably don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to go home and chill and not be plugged in and just like relax.
Last thing I want to do is play video games when I get home.
It's like any other business. Once you get up to like a different role in it, you become detached from, I don't say reality, but just kind of like the social reality of it all, you know? It's like, what do you mean people are burnt out on BRs? You know what I mean? Like, last time I checked, it was the most popular thing on earth. And it's like, yeah, like fucking 3 years ago, bro. But like people want something different now, you know?
Same shit over and over again.
I think it's hard to keep your hand on the pulse when you're so tunnel vision and like what you're doing and stuff. So, you know, I don't blame them too much, but at the same time, it's like I blame these companies that are taking this technology and kind of squandering it, because there are certain things that I think anybody would take, you know, joy out of. It's like Saber Beat or whatever that game is. You know what I mean?
Beat Saber, yeah.
Beat Saber, yeah. Taking something that people love, obviously, that very, very closely resembles a lightsaber, and then mixing it with like Guitar Hero. You know, somebody took two ideas, incorporated that technology, and it's something that like everybody plays. I wouldn't be able to play it. I'd like, fucking throw out my back trying to pick up my baby and shit, and try to get me up there to fucking like jam out to like Led Zeppelin and shit. I'd be fucking dead, bro. Like I'd just be on the ground. I wouldn't be standing anymore. So,
with
like,
the VR headset on, by the way.
Just stay there. Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, it also seems like on the internet people just kind of glossed over all the VR shit anyways. I didn't hear anybody talking about it. Everybody's like, yeah, whatever.
They were just like, yeah, because it didn't razzle dazzle anybody, I guess you could say.
Not dwelling on VR for too long. It was kind of a wet fart, you know, just moving on to the newer shit. What do we got?
So Bungie came up with the Destiny 2 release. It's supposed to set out for later on this month.
You know, was it Lightfall?
Yeah.
Yeah. basically they did like their Vidoc like last week, or they went into depth of like what Lightfall is bringing like a new subclass, and just continuing on the story, which has gotten a lot better than like when Destiny 2 like first launched.
It would cost me $150 to catch up to the most recent Destiny update. You know what I mean? Which is exactly why I don't play Destiny. And I have some info in the free game section. If you know, right now there is a deal going on. You know, it's just you know, again, digressing. It's just there's so much to catch up with Destiny that Lightfall. It's not very appeasing or appealing, I should say, to people like myself who are just they would like to get into it, but they're looking at $150 worth of DLC that they got to buy to catch up to it. So.
That's expensive.
What's the other one on here? Goodbye Volcano High.
Yes. Did you happen to see the trailer for this thing?
I did not.
Dude, your dinosaurs. Over it. By the way, your dinosaurs in high school. That's going to be near graduating.
Oh yes.
And it gives the vibes of like a 1990s after school special, where like you're going through like these troubled teens and they have this drama. And by the way, they're in a band, so. They're trying to start up the band, and you go about.
Why are you making video games? Millennials should not be able to make video games. Like, we should just be blocked off. Like, this is.
Yeah, so it's like a mixture of like a story after school special with Guitar Hero, because there's points where you have to be like on point with like beats.
Damn, what was that other game that came out a few weeks ago?
The Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah. I mean, that game actually was kind of dope, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I was like, this is playable. And, like, you get into it. You know, it's a really repetitive beat, but you're sitting there, like, bobbing your head and shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro.
So I was just watching this because, like, dinosaurs don't last forever. We already know that. So it kind of gives you that vibe of, like, everything's going to end and all their drama. I just started laughing. I was like I don't even know how this is.
Where you know it's going to end.
It's just really bad. That wasn't a game that PlayStation needed to put out there, but and be like, hey guys, this is what we need to put on this showcase for this. I guess you could do say a quarter.
Fill some time.
You could have cut that 45-minute presentation.
Well, it sounds horrible. June 15th it comes out.
Yeah,
interesting.
I
gotta look it up. That sounds like shit. Then you got Street Fighter 6 on here. We talked about that. I mean, you know, rest in peace, Cammy. You know, whatever.
You got the little Mexican girl coming out too.
Oh yeah, what was that? What was that? She had like a bird or something, didn't she? What was that?
It was like I think it might have been the
spirit or something like that.
It might have been the eagle from the flag.
Why was her crotch so visible at all times? Did you see that? Everything that was like slow motion just had her like spread wide. I was like, bro, what is this? It's like, you got rid of Cammy's ass, but you bring in this shit? What is this?
That's
shit?
What you needed. You asked for it. You were sad.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Appeasing all the weeboos.
I mean, there's some disgraceful fucking degenerate behavior going on. But like, that one was a bit weird. I was like, okay. So after like the second time, I was like, wait, let me see that. That's, yep, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
The guys that sat around this table were like, let's go with it.
We'll see. You know, I did see some of this Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Fucking weebs, bro. Fucking weebs. I think Boruto is like the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. I'm not into Naruto at all. Remember kids in high school that used to wear like their little headbands and shit?
Oh my God, run around.
Yeah. But I did hear that I guess it's like a series based on his kid.
Yeah, that's what Boruto is.
Yeah, like, so how Naruto uninspired are you when you're naming your child to just be like, I'm just gonna change it to Boruto?
You changed 2 letters.
Yeah, it's just it's like stupid joking at that, but I saw that, I was like, Burrito, what a stupid name. I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, this game showcases the past 20 years of the entire thing, so it shows Naruto with his kids, which is Boruto. I want to say burrito. Burrito just wants to naturally come out.
Let's call it burrito. Naruto
from here on out, it's Naruto Burrito.
Okay, yeah,
Ultimate Ninja Storm. Yeah, so I guess for the Naruto people out there, it's a pretty big thing because it's going to be all the characters throughout the entire span of the series.
Just another niche.
What's like what was that?
Fighting game.
It wasn't Xenoverse. What was it? Kakarot? I think that Dragon Ball
one
Z
of those
Kakarot
Dragon
game
Ball Z
where it was
games,
like that.
yeah.
All those suck, by the way. I own like every single one of them. They all suck. I
You just
want
got
them to be
to
good,
mine them, or
but they're so, yeah.
The
It's
fuck?
like 2K, bro. I bought 2K yesterday. I'm cursed.
For-
I can't stop. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do this to myself.
I know we were literally just talking about that. You were like, "God damn, I'm a sucker for sales." And next thing you know, it's fucking $17 in here.
It is.
You should just got the bundle with the
With the 2K,
NBA, with the
2K
PGA.
or PGA is $40 on sale right now, and that's still twice as high as I would have.
Oh my god, I would never pay that much.
Yeah, it's on sale, but it's only $40.
Yeah.
I kicked myself in the ass when I bought NHL 23, and then like the week later it was on sale for half price.
Oh, I bought a Creality Ender 3 V2 Neo 3D printer day before yesterday. It's $300, $319 on Amazon. And I asked Garrett, and I was like, "You're into this shit. Which one, blah, blah." And he gave me his advice, and it was on, I could get a coupon and all that, and he's like, "Get it. That's the lowest you'll get it," and blah, blah. I was like, I don't know. I got a feeling. I got a feeling for a sale. I'm going to hold off on a week. He got triggered because he wanted me to get it and shit. And I was like, nah, I'll give it a week. I got a feeling. Less than 24 hours, that shit was on sale for like $259. It was a flash sale. And it was only on for like 2 hours or whatever. And I happened to check it, and there was only like a dozen left, and I picked one up. I was able to get a spool of PLA with it for the same price as the original listing was. So, yeah, I am a sucker for deals.
No, I gotta
too
start. I
shabby.
gotta start learning my patience and like buying games as soon as they first come out.
Yeah, you gotta at least learn the landscape a little bit because they got their ways. And then you got sales that come up that are consistent yearly. Like on Steam for us, it's like, you got your autumn sale, your winter sale, your summer sale.
Spring sale.
Spring sale is pretty good, but really it's the summer sale normally does it pretty good. Winter sale does it normally pretty good, but now they're kind of inverted. It's where the holiday, like the summer sale and the winter sale are the shit ones, and then your spring and fall sales are like the really good ones. So
It's like, like spring cleaning sale.
yeah, and that's really part of the show, is that we like to focus on pointing out those deals because it is constant cycle. But I was looking at 3D printers so rigorously, and I noticed that these devices were going on sale so frequently that it's like, I think if I give it a second, what'll pop up? And sure enough, it did. So yeah, if you want to get the best deals, always just a couple days. Give it a couple days. You'll see what's up.
I gotta stop doing that. I only got it because it was like my favorite hockey player right now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the
hockey
cover, and
games
he
are pretty dope. Dude.
Wasn't even in his uniform. Kind of pissed me off. And it was shared with a chick.
My thing with this Naruto and Boruto game, actually in particular, is that if it does showcase like the entirety of the series, it might be like a nice expedited way of getting all the information that I need. You know what I
Just
mean?
read it on Wikipedia, guy.
And that's like the
Yeah,
synopsis and shit.
there's like close to 1,000 episodes between the two shows.
Jesus,
So
yeah, I'm not trying to get on all that.
You want to get invested? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, then you got Resident Evil. I got that actually posted on the roundup, so we'll do that there. But the biggest takeaway you say here is the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
I don't
They
know.
made it
I have
sound
to
like it
look.
was.
I don't think it is. It might be a PlayStation and PC release.
Yeah,
but,
I hope not.
Let me check here. It's listed on Steam.
All right, cool.
So it might be like a staggered release or whatever. We're not really here to report on that, but it is a Rocksteady game. Which, I mean, if you're into the whole Arkham Knight, I think it was.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
the
Arkham-
Arkham verse. They said it takes place
5 years.
five years after Arkham Knight.
Looks good. I mean, if the fighting style is similar, I don't think it is.
No, this is more. This is more like run around, like you have looks like you go on missions and you can continue to go on missions and like build your gear up and collect like certain parts to guns and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
we
then-
are looking at kind of like that Destiny style point system
Yeah.
for your weapons
Yeah.
and armor and stuff like that. Which, hey, I don't mind. I like it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Hogwarts Legacy is like that too. So
Right.
that's the drive. That's the pull. That's what keeps your gamers coming back to like
Right.
get that.
It's
shit,
like the whole
the
like
dopamine
Borderlands like thing too, where like no gun is the same, but like you can like upgrade certain things.
That one became a novelty pretty quick, to be honest. And I mean, originally I was actually playing with your brother on that game. I remember the first Borderlands, and just that general concept of unlimited guns was like, oh, I'm never gonna stop playing this. And then you get into the later games, and it's like, it's so minimal, and I'm throwing so many guns away.
Well, yeah, you're like, you're looking for like specific things.
Yeah. And then there's the advancements or attributes of certain weapons,
right.
And this one does this against this, and this one, it's like, I don't want to think that much. I just want to always try to go for the best.
I think with Suicide Squad, it's more of like you're trying to find just like the attachments that unlock for that weapon or whatever, and then there's like probably different rarities to the weapon.
I mean, I'm looking at gameplay here. It looks pretty fucking dope, to be honest. It looks
the trailer.
It looks fun. It looks smooth.
It looks in that same vein as the Arkham series, which I consider to be some of the best games ever made. Like, period. Yeah. The whole fighting system in it is amazing, and I'm happy that Hogwarts Legacy is somewhat akin to that. Not exactly, but that's still that parry and attack type mentality. I like that. This one looks a lot diverse with the characters you could play, the things you could do.
Yeah, they said that there's going to be more like you're going to be able to unlock more characters.
Yeah, and it looks a lot more. Yeah, they're going to be pumping that out. Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the Battle Pass.
It looks more enjoyable than what's that new game that they you got Gotham Knights that came out, and it kind of like wanted to give off that vibe that it was going to be that type of gameplay, and then it just wasn't as smooth and clean. At least with Rocksteady, we're getting the same team. You know what I mean? I think there was another developer that was involved with those Arkham series too. So I mean,
it was like WB Montreal or something like that, or it was a separate like offshoot.
Let me see. Arkham
Studio.
Knights. Rocksteady was Arkham Knights. NetherRealm. There you go. NetherRealm. The ones, the Mortal Kombat crew.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
That's the one I couldn't think of. So, like, yeah, there's other crews involved, but there was always kind of that, like, consistent vibe with those Arkham games. So, it's going to be a hard one to touch down. Lucas, you mentioned it there. They're going to have a battle pass to it. It's going to be a cosmetic-only battle pass.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with, especially if they're going to be touting this whole like point system for their weapons and armor and stuff. The big gripe, though, the big controversy online is the always online aspect of it. Even
no, they said that there's like you can go solo.
From what I hear, it's an online only solo included. The only way that you could play the game is to have an internet connection.
I think that's the way all games are going to be based on now, though.
Yeah, I mean that's
I've heard
an
other
issue,
people talking about that. Just in games in general, you're never going to be able just to turn on your console and be off the grid.
For something like EA, for EA games, 2K games, for example, and stuff like that. You should be able to hop in and play your campaign and not have to worry about it. And
I think only if you want like those like live roster updates and things like that you want online. But like if you're satisfactory with the base like teams, and cool, you can dick around and have fun with that.
You should be able to go play Torrey Pines and not have to worry about having an internet connection, like if I'm in a hotel or something like that, you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I think EA PJ Tour is going to have something like that. It's not the only game, like you said, it's not the only game that's doing this, and it's just not very appealing to people who like to buy tangible copies of games they play, hold on to them so that they can play them a decade from now, and then give them to their kids or sell them so that those people can play them. This whole DRM and trying to lock down how you play your games, how you sell your games and shit like that. That's an issue. And a lot of people are just kind of pissed off with this one.
I mean, that's why you bought like sports games and like solo player games, is because you didn't have to have that connection. You're there for just the campaign, and you didn't need to, or just the rosters itself, and you can just play it mindlessly without having to like update anything.
Can go fire up PGA Tour, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2008 right now on that system and play it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, they're even saying that most of these games are even coming, like, even if you pick up a physical disc, a lot of them are blank.
Well, a lot of them, even if you by this, I don't know how you guys buy your games, but even if you buy, let's say, COD, you still have to install that game onto your system to play it, and there's a whole lot of fuckery going on. It's just the act of people are concerned that if WB, for example, who's like the worst if they just decide to stop supporting the game, then all your save data is gone and you can no longer play that game. And then who are you going to complain to? You can't get your money back. They could just shut it off. And because all your save data is saved on their servers and not through like Steam Cloud or PlayStation Cloud or whatever, that it's gone, so it's a concern. There's different variables for different cases and stuff like that, but it is a concern with these newer games and stuff like that. But
I don't get why Kill the Justice League had to have its own like special ending going developer style and everything when we've already seen this game. I think last year it was supposed to come out like the end of last year.
We saw a trailer where it showed Batman, and they released that trailer because he died, and they wanted to convey that they would be using his voice for the game and stuff like that. It wasn't a gameplay trailer. I think this is the first time you saw like actual gameplay, and it looked good. It looked fucking sweet to me. It looked better than Gotham Knights. So I might be down, but it's not going to be one of those games I pick up right off the bat. It'll be a for sale game for sure for me.
And at least with the what they say with DC is that they're keeping all the voices the same across the entire universe, from games to movies.
Gonna be hard with that one.
So I think they're trying to actually propose that in this game, and actually I think that's what kind of kept it from going out in the late of 22.
I got a couple copies of Superman #1 over here. Just came out a couple days ago. Went to the comic shop to pick up a couple copies. This is the this one is it's the Dawn of DC is their new line. It's from Williamson and Campbell. Beautiful artwork on these books. I got one to read, and then I got a copy for a collection of a different alternate cover. But if I'm not mistaken, this is like kind of their revamp, and this is where they're going to start building with these new films. Superman, awesome, and this looks completely traditional, red panties and all. Gotta love it. It gave off a really good vibe. I liked it. I wanted to like read more once it was done. So if this is like where they're going with DC based on this comic book, it's gonna be fucking great. And like everybody I've read on the internet like loves this new comic run, and like you said, I think it's a part of that whole DC revamp where everything's gonna be kind of connected. And I'm pretty excited for a Superman game if it's gonna be based off of this Dawn of DC line for sure. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they can't really do carrying over Batman because the voice actor for Justice League or Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has passed. So
I heard Justin Roiland's looking for a job.
There was a YouTuber.
Oh geez, I'm Batman, guys.
I saw some YouTubers like video that he sent in or whatever, and although I vowed I would never do it, it came up on something where it's like, have they found the new Rick and Morty? And yeah, he's like 100%. And it was actually Justin Roiland in an old interview heard it, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Like that's pretty close. That is like 100% me.
He's never getting his job back.
And it's like, ironically enough, he rated the guy that's probably going to take his job. So if they go with that voice, it'll be almost indistinguishable, which is kind of crazy, but we'll see.
Well, I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, you will.
So Kill the Justice League actually launches on May 26th for across all platforms. So you PC guys over there will be able to play.
I'm going to kick back and wait. I'll watch some streams and see how it is, but all in all, I think they could probably pull off a pretty good game. We'll see. Next deal, when it pops up on sale, your boy will be there. And as always, we like to move on into the free game section before we get to the roundup. This week we got one game for free on Epic Game Store, and that's free until March 2nd. It's called Duskers. It's a top-down strategy simulation DOS-style visual game. I can't explain what it is. It looked fucking weird, but it's free. Go ahead and check it on out. On a low-key Steam sale, we got massive deals on Bungie games and DLCs. We've talked about that a little bit. Most 2K games are on sale right now, including 2K, NBA. Fuck. And
I'm never gonna get it.
PGA Tour, 2K23 is on sale, and all that good shit. Borderlands, all those other.
I would say there's a huge Borderlands sale.
Yeah.
There's the unlimited deluxe whatever edition. It has everything Borderlands, and it's $180 value, and it's for like $20.
Yeah, so you can get warmed up for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you can legit get like everything Borderlands related.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I think you get Borderlands 3 for like, I don't know, like 27 cents or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
Yeah,
but-
it's
These
super cheap.
random ass numbers.
Most 2K games though. No Man's Sky is also on sale. Hunt Showdown is on sale. Marvel Knights or Marvel
That's already on
Suns.
sale?
Midnight Suns is already on sale. Yeah,
Jesus.
heard it's pretty good. And I saw that actually they added Venom. Somebody said online that it's the absolute perfect Venom design. I agree. Like you look at that character, it's flawless. It's a perfect Venom. Finally, they did it. But if you're waiting for that game to go on sale, it's on sale right now. Check that out. Quite a bit more. So just check your specials tab on your Steam store page, and you'll see quite a bit. Another one here. And if you've been sleeping on PC Game Pass like myself, new games have dropped on the streaming platform recently, including Shadow Warrior 3, Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord, Madden 23, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and the new, very controversial Atomic Heart. I don't have anything in the roundup for Atomic Heart, but did you guys hear about that?
I did.
No,
I actually just saw an
what's-
article on it.
Looks good.
What's going on?
Atomic Heart is a Ukrainian themed, I guess you would say it. It's like BioShock, but takes
Okay.
place in a utopian type future of Ukraine. One of the gripes about it is like one of the AI bipedal androids in the game looks like a former prime minister, like Hadi, that was at Ukraine, and it's just kind of like a nothing burger. It's a popular hair dressing that
Oh, like that
women
rope
wear.
tie braid that's
Yeah,
going across
the
her head.
braid that goes, and they're like, oh, it's the same. And it's like, dude, a lot of chicks wear that in Ukraine.
In
Chill out.
Ukraine, a lot of people wear that.
However, this one is developed, if I'm not mistaken, by a Russian development team, and at the very least has people on the development team that work out of Russia, and there's a lot of concern for like data breach and data
Yeah.
collection, and also them profiting off of anything Ukraine right now.
Yeah, they provide all the secrets to security services in Russia
Yeah.
for all that data breaching that they're doing.
So like it depends on what
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
developer's
whatever.
like, no. We've never done that.
Well, of course they are.
Of
but-
course, of course they're going to deny.
I
that
don't know
shit.
if it's a full-blown Russian developer or if it's just a team that has Russian developers on it. I just know that it's kind of a sour discussion right now because of Russia being a bunch of cock gobblers. But it is what it is. But that is pretty much it for that section. Free games, heavily discounts going on right now. Check out your Steam stores. It's not a winter sale. It's not a spring sale. It's just one of those things you got to keep an eye on, and there's some good shit. So check that out. Now moving on to the roundup. I'm trying to pump through here pretty quick.
Yay!
After its overwhelming success, Hogwarts Legacy developer Avalanche Software has revealed they currently have no plans for future DLC. Some people griped about it, but I think I wrote it on there where it's like, I can't imagine a single person who plays this game being like, there's just not enough content. Like there's so much in that game that you're gonna be held up for quite a while.
I was gonna say, there's no way that somebody's even
It's
close to
definitely
coming to that game, right?
money value.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean when I say that these types of games, they can feel full, and then when you play it, it's like, there's nothing
Yeah,
really there.
100%.
It's repetitive, blah, blah. Even the repetitive things you have to do in the game are completely different every time you have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Merlin trials and stuff like that.
Right. All the Merlin trials are completely different from one
Completely
another.
different. They all kind of got their own little like Breath of the Wild vibe in terms of like those, levitating
You have to do
things.
you
moving
have to do
things.
certain things,
Yeah, there's so much to do in that game. However, Avalanche Software has announced that they don't have any plans for it. Doesn't mean that they're not going to. It just means that they haven't looked that far ahead. Which, to be honest, that's what I want to hear from a developer. You know what I mean? It's like they weren't focusing on that shit. They're focusing on their game. That's why it came out so good, because they weren't looking at restricting the game or wounding the game in some way to where you're going to need some future DLC down the line to make it feel whole.
Right. And that's where I think a lot of developers, they pigeonhole hold themselves into
Cyberpunk.
oh, you're gonna need this. They don't send out a full game and then they make the DLC
What you
content
need to make it.
that should already have been in the main game.
Yeah, I mean, in a different light, you got No Man's Sky, who kind of did that, but that was more to save face.
Yeah,
we got some stuff
No,
with that.
the redemption arc of No Man's Sky is
Yeah, it's legendary by this
Yeah.
point. I got something in there even more impressive once you hear it, but it's pretty crazy. But no plans for future DLC. But also in that same note, from Warner Brothers in a separate announcement, or not even announcement, just discussion, like an interview. They're already planning a sequel. They're already starting to plan a sequel for Hogwarts Legacy, and they've also announced that they're going to be making a live action show based around Hogwarts Legacy, as well as potentially a film adaptation for her shit play, The Cursed Child, which, the book was garbage. The play was atrocious. I don't know if you know what The Cursed Child is. Anybody?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, I saw a little bit of background on it.
Yeah,
like Harry's child, yeah.
But everything goes wrong for him, and he becomes a dick. So it's like, I don't want to hear about it. But rest assured, this, I think what they made like $980 million on this game, is like close to $1 billion by this point on this game. Huge, massive, the biggest WB release in their history of gaming. They're gonna be pumping out as much content as they can really muster up, because this basically saved them as a company. Like, with all this DC bullshittery that's going on, their other shit failing and not really, pulling in numbers, HBO Max being kind of like a wet fart these days. Like, they needed this. So Hogwarts Legacy is going to be one of those staples, kind of like the Middle Earth games was for them at one point, which... the second one was actually pretty impressive and very good. So I think it's going to be kind of like their new version of that. I'm ready, but it just depends on how they're going to tell it. I'm not sure how they're going to pull off a Hogwarts Legacy show, but that is in the works. Next one here. Tesla recalls over 360,000 vehicles for full self-driving crash risk. And from Tesla, they quote, certain 2016 to 2023 Model S's, Model X's, 2017 to 2023 Model 3s, and 2020 to 2023 Model Y vehicles equipped with full self-driving beta, FSD beta, software or pending installation are to be recalled.
People driving around in a beta program. I stay away from all Tesla cars on the freeway.
I think anybody... there was like videos of somebody who's like taking a nap in their back seat while their car drives them. I just want to like... every one of those people should have their licenses stripped, like, period. And for like
100%.
forever. 100, like, forever. Like, you're just no longer...
that's like not even what it's for.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't have a proper understanding of how the world works. It's not about you. It's not about your leisure. It's not about any of that. They got video of these things tearing down the street at 120 miles an hour, running people over and shit. People getting hit in the middle of the night because the cameras don't pick it up. Just stupid shit. So, fuck your self-driving shit. Put your hands on the wheel. If you get caught without your hands on the wheel, like on a freeway, on a road or whatever, and it's not in a particular, like, reasoning, as the specific reason why this type of self-driving exists, then you get your shit revoked, like, forever. And they just, like, blacklist you. And then, like, anytime you go into a fucking vehicle dealer, they, like, pelt you with tomatoes and, like, cabbage and shit. Fucking assholes.
No, they just put you back in, like, a Honda Civic and say, here, this is all you can ever get.
Sit in the backseat of this shit, motherfucker.
Yeah. See how you feel now.
Yeah. So, there's that. There's a whole lot of cars. I know you get some joy out of that because you fucking hate Tesla. But
yeah, fuck Tesla.
Yeah,
I'll
Tesla has
avoid
become shit. At one point, they were, like, revered. And then now it's just like, okay, your guys are fucking crazy. Next one, YouTube overlord Susan Wachowski, I don't forget her name,
Wojcicki?
Is stepping down. The internet rejoices. She's been around forever, like forever. I think she was the one that like pushed for Google to buy YouTube to begin with. So her leaving could mean bad things, could mean good things. However, I think most people would agree that just the state of YouTube after having been purchased by Google has just been on a slow decline, and sometimes just plummets from time to time. But it's pretty much a shit show, and our shackles have been freed temporarily.
Dude, her net worth is $765 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, she's been involved for quite a fucking long time. You know what I mean? So. It is what it is. Pornhub's Instagram reinstated after 5-month ban to then be banned again. Meta says, my bad.
I mean, what do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, they said it was a mistake to unban
them?
Unban them to begin with. So that's why they were like, yeah, my bad.
Why are they being banned? It's Pornhub. It's a website.
Yeah. Well, Instagram is the place they would be banned because Instagram's like uptight. Their comment sections are fucking worse than any place that I've ever seen. This is coming from somebody who keeps her eye on Twitter all day. The amount of crazy that comes out of Instagram specific like comment sections is like staggering, you know, like incredibly ruthless, sexist, racist, bigoted, just the most crazy shit you could possibly imagine. So I don't know, whatever. Fuck, Instagram's trash. Pornhub's where you want to go if you want to show some titties and shit.
There you go.
That's how it is.
I mean, I've seen some stuff on Instagram that's like, why is this on Instagram? And it needs to just leave my real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to go away. I wish I could reset that thing.
Okay, yeah.
Just wish I could reset that thing and
You're
just
like,
call it a
I
day.
don't want to see these breasts. Why are these on my feet? Get these breasts off my feet.
I swear,
Same
baby,
video
they're
over and over
not
again.
supposed to be there. I wasn't looking at anything.
Well, dude, like the algorithm, you look at one thing and it's like, boom, you liked it, huh? Yeah, you
Yes.
like that? Now
Yes.
you're gonna get a shit ton of
Yeah.
it. How do you like that?
100%. I was doing that yesterday. I was like saying to
Literally.
myself, I was like, because I scroll through, I got a lot of art shit, a lot of like video game shit, some news shit that pops through, but it's very unreliable, and I hate reading news on fucking Instagram. Like you send
That's
me
the only
links
place I
of
get my
news on
news.
Instagram. It's fucking stupid, bro. It's like, why am I looking at this little like blurb on a picture?
It
And
was
shit?
literally
And then I
like,
realized it's like posted 5 days ago. I'm like, fuck.
yeah. My fiance sent me like ring like pictures for like when we were like ring shopping, and next thing you know, like that's
All of
all the ads I was getting was just
All
like,
of it.
All you have to do is say
hey,
it.
rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got
That's
like
the
the
creepy
sneaky
part.
ones where it's like you got chicks, right? You're like showing off their titties and shit in things that you actually do want to look. So it's like there's like a beautiful sculpture that I want to check out, you know? It's like there's one chick that does like sculptures for like NFT projects. I don't care about NFTs, but her huge sculptures come out like amazing. Like they're gorgeous. And then the way she paints them are like fantastic. But she likes to show like, you know, the goods and shit. So it's like the algorithm doesn't know if I'm looking at the sculpture or if I'm looking at her titties and shit. So naturally,
It knows what
we're
you're
just gonna
looking
give you titties.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna default to the
Yeah. So then I gotta go through my search box, right? And it's like, okay, so now half of my results are like, you know, cosplayers and you know, video game related like cosplay and like there might be some sculptures and shit that pop in there, but typically it's just like, oh, you like boobs, so we're just gonna give you boobs. So then I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
go
like
and like intentionally look at pictures I don't want to look at, but are in the category of things that I want to look at. So I go and I look at this inking, and then I go and look at this painting, and then I go look at this sculpture, and I like them and shit. And then I go back, close the app, and bring it back up, and then it's less titties. And then I slowly gotta chip away, little by little.
You got to liking stuff. That's what you have to do. I learned that.
Yeah, I do
So
like.
I
it from
started
time to
liking
time.
a bunch of like golf videos that I even if I didn't even like it, I was just, I got to like it because it's got to relearn what I'm looking at. So,
And
you
it-
know, I take some swing tips from Paige Spearnack, you know, and
yeah,
and
swing tips.
and learning some
my
short
air
game.
quotes are
You know, my short game's been
She was
atrocious
talking-
right now.
I was
So
talking about her grip the other day, and just everybody jumped on her like, "Come on, blah blah blah!" Like this is ridiculous. And I was like, "Bro, whatever, dude. Like it's what the internet's for. Quit being so fucking uptight."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm getting everything I want, and then randomly it's like, "You like golf?" Like, yeah, I like golf. And I'll like stop on the video for a second. And it's like, nah, I don't like that. And I'll keep scrolling. And then sure enough, every other video or like every 3 or 4 videos is another golf video. It's like, bro, I don't want to see some fucking hacks hitting shots. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck about this dude's first birdie and shit. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit.
yeah.
So like, yeah, it's rough. I just hate fucking Instagram in terms of that. You know, it's fine to like for artists and stuff because it's a nice, easy way to see some like clips, some techniques, and some end result pictures and stuff. Or I
And then
guess if you're
boobs.
looking for some titties, you get some
and then
titties.
boobs.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're also really uptight in terms of their TOS and all that stuff too. So it's not even the best place for that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Poor
but
Pornhub.
I thought that was pretty fun. I thought that was pretty fun. Pornhub could save us one day.
It-
Pornhub is really the only other online service that has a formidable video streaming output compared to YouTube. There was a lot of talk at one point about that, about how Pornhub could literally do a safe for work approach and utilize their systems to just make a new type of YouTube, and they have the infrastructure to do that. You know what I mean? So
And
hey,
the
you never know.
following.
You never know. Follow
if you're
Pornhub.
watching Pornhub, you're into some other types of videos too that aren't on YouTube. So
What's going on here? Although off to a strong start with $110 million opening weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania gets torn apart online for poor CGI and some bad editing. Numbers plummet for week 2. Did you guys watch this?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We all watched this video.
Yeah, I totally
we all
did
watched
watch
this
it.
movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the poor CGI part though.
Yeah, so like the whole
Sorry.
CGI thing, I guess it's really like you're in a subatomic universe type thing. It's like, what the fuck do you expect? It's gonna look like shit. Bro. Everything
No,
is
man, that's
real.
not realistic.
It's like you're like, what are you gonna compare the CGI to fucking Iron Man 1 compared to some wild fucking story that takes place in the quantum realm? Of course it's gonna look fake. It is fake. Like, it's not real. They can't go out to the real quantum realm and fucking film, idiot. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
I
How
get it
expensive
though.
that would be?
There would be there was an issue, I guess, where they diverted resources from Quantumania to Wakanda Forever, and that got leaked because your typical, we've been over this, the person who's our job is too hard, we work too many hours, yada yada, we don't like deadlines. One of those people leaked out all the details, like, oh, they had really unrealistic deadlines and this and this. I get it. There's gonna be people that tirade on that. We've already voiced our opinion on that matter multiple times. We've all dealt in industries that aren't video gaming that have deadlines, and there is nobody to bitch about. You just get it done. But again, it's one of those things where, you know, the media picked up on it, and it's like, oh, they took resources from this movie and put it over here, and that's why this movie looks like shit, yada yada yada. Then you got people bitching about MODOK, how he looks like crap, and it's like, yeah,
That was supposed to be
I
a
mean,
joke.
we all knew that was gonna.
it's kind of hard to take a gigantic head and have it look like, you know, clean. I do think that they could have done certain things with it differently. It is what it is. You know, the plummeting numbers, I'm assuming it has something to do with the fact that everybody's talking shit about it. It just is what it is. What do you guys think of the film, though?
I thought it was a good movie.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was too bad.
There's some moments I thought was funny.
I'm actually gonna buy
Yeah.
the real book.
My fiance didn't like how, like, this king, like, his facial expressions and stuff didn't match up with some vocal stuff, like things he was saying. Like, he was a little too over dramatic on some things, but it is what it is.
There was
we
some
enjoyed it.
editing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
lines were cut, things were different angles than they should be. I wasn't really paying attention to it too much. I
Yeah,
normally
I
pick
think-
that stuff up on the second and third viewings, which I
Yeah.
do. I watch movies 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
The first point, I'm looking for what they're trying to give me. You know, the story that they're trying to push, and I think that this one did a good job at establishing where we're going to be going in the next few years, with especially leading up to King Dynasty.
Yeah.
I didn't see the post-credit scene, but I did see some pictures online where it shows the dynasty. It shows all these different versions and stuff, and then you got people online being like, "They just killed King the Conqueror. They don't have a villain. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. We
They don't.
No."
But there's a dynasty.
It's like
that-
there's infinite numbers of them, my guy. Like, that's the point. That's the whole point
Yeah.
of the fucking movie, man. What are you doing? Like, why are
Like,
you?
the end credit scene was, like, exactly from, like, a
The comic
just
book.
straight out of a comic.
Even like the weird faced one that's like in the
Oh
foreground.
yeah, it's
you
like
can
it's
see
that's literally like the comic
Yeah.
like cover.
There's like any type of version of Kang you can think of. There's a version of Kang. You know, like there's a Kang Thanos. There's a Kang Lizard Man. There's a Kang, you know, Slug. There's all these different ones. They vary in levels of proficiency, but they're all
Right.
Kang. You know, and that's the interesting part about this. And just because he got sucked in there doesn't mean he's not going to be able to get out. It just there could be some trickery, and maybe he comes at the end, and that's where the battle is, right? Where Kang again is back, and this whole Kang dynasty in his absence is trying to do some shit, and then here comes Kang, the Conqueror, to then conquer again, you know. And then you got the new Avengers fighting along some Kangs to try to take down the rest and him, you know. Like, there's something they can do with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Then you got Secret Wars after that, which is weird. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of shifting going on with Marvel and them kind of moving.
It
things
even looked
around.
like one of the kings was like a scroll.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
the case. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like there's
So-
you know, and then you got people you know, like, well, what if the kid in Iron Man 3 was a Kang variant, you know, and what if, you know, And then we also have
like, again, that's the whole thing of like the multiverse is like you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to take into consideration too that Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards.
Yep.
From Fantastic Four.
Yep.
He's Nathaniel Richards. great grandkid or something like that. Which I saw the picture. They all seem to be teleporting into that Dynasty area using the same technology that Reed Richards did in Mom. So that's also a hint at that. And then, they're talking about how they can retroactively go back and start saying so and so is a Kang variant, so and so is a King variant. But yeah, I mean, you have Reed Richards' kids still fucking around out there. His dad got turned into spaghetti and shit. That's also another issue that these literally the absolute most OP character in all of Marvel history. Like, insane. There's insane shit that can happen from here on out, and I just think that the movie did a good job at kind of setting it up for them. People want to bitch, but I'm not there to look at CGI anymore, dude. It's been fucking 15 years, bro. Get over it. Like, look for the story, look for what they're trying to tell you, and just kind of progressing this overarching story.
James Cameron's going to go to the Quant.
Fucking James Cameron, bro. That fool literally said Thanos was right. He said that the other day and shit. He said that he understood, like, Thanos' plan, and he agreed that it was, like, the most practical and shit. It's like, shut the fuck up, you goddamn villain. Shut up, James Cameron, you stupid dick. Jesus. Next one on here, Rode announces new podcast-friendly NT1 mic that is said to offer unclippable audio, Lucas. Retails at $260.
You tell me I come in hot?
You come in more than hot, robot boy.
We do apologize for that audio issue last week. It seems to be probably a Safari issue on his Mac
My
computing
bad, sorry.
system.
Anywho.
But, there's some clipping and stuff that happens from time to time. This Rode announces, it's the Rodent one, the Rode NT1.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. It's their flagship. It's been around for like 30 years. It's like one of their oldest mics. However, this is a new version. It's USB based. It's a bit pricey compared to other USB based, like an AT2020 or what have you from Audio Technica, or AT2040 even. But the NT1 is kind of like your flagship. It's been around forever. I was telling Kenny earlier, the Rode boom arm is the one that you want to get. No other one. It's $100. Only get the Rode arm if you want to suspend your mic. Don't get another one. Don't pay $80 on some slightly cheaper one, or get some fucking $20 boom mic arm. Just go and get a Rode. Rode is a very reliable and trustworthy brand. They've been around forever. And this one, for people that want to get some extra quality out of their mic, I think gain control and all that stuff is actually built into the microphone itself. And then you can make adjustments that don't really carry over into other shit. So check it out. Rodent NT1, the new version, 260. A few trailers drop. First one is Kerbal Space Program 2. I'm not sure if anybody of you guys played the Kerbal Space Program.
That's a no.
Super frustrating. Nope. If you want to just, you know what it is?
No.
So basically, it's just kind of like it's a building simulator where you try to build your own spaceships and see if they work. And the game itself is based heavily on legitimate physics and all this stuff, and it's very much a simulator, but it has a goofy twist where it's like, okay, make something, see if it'll fly to space. Make something and see if you can get it to the moon. And sure enough, it's always a disaster, but once in a while you'll make something that actually does get you to where you want and stuff like that. And it's a very like loved kind of niche game. It's been around for quite a while, and it does have an active community. If you stream that shit on Twitch, you'll get a viewer, guaranteed, for some reason. I don't know why. But there's always some viewer out there willing to watch some Kerbal Space Program.
That seems too intense for my simple mind.
It really is. You could sit there like WoW guy from fucking South Park and shit, and just kind of like drag and drop things and make some god awful fucking aerial device and see if it flies. You can crash into the ocean. You can crash in hills and mountains and shit. It's goofy. It's not like super realistic, but it is
must
fun.
Be what SpaceX used.
Better results, to be honest. Actually, I can't talk shit on SpaceX. SpaceX is fucking good. It's dope shit.
Now it is.
I remember their blow-ups. I remember watching their little kerfuffles. But they did that intentionally. They all had those set aside so they can make sure that if anything failed, they got it out of the way. So those were disposable rockets. I swear. Trailer for live-action Tetris film drops. What up? Starring that guy from Kingsman. the young guy.
Whatever, Egerton.
Yeah. British dude, I think.
Yeah.
I heard this movie was coming out a while ago, and I was like, "What is it going to be? Pixels? It's basically going to be Pixels, isn't it?" But no, this is more of like the behind the scenes story of the making of Tetris.
Oh,
And
it's a biographical type thing.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
I was over here
was
thinking
it
like,
the
who's going to
movie-
play the square and who's going to play
Yeah,
the
the
T
line.
and the L.
Yeah. They're coming out with that Jordan movie where you
Oh, yeah,
the
the-
Nike deal.
fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck
making
and,
that. Yeah,
It looks good.
it's called Air in it or something like that.
Air or something.
I'm
like
absolutely
that, yeah.
going to see that. I'm the only one here that's into Jays, so whatever.
I mean, I'm gonna look at it just because it's watch it because it's
He's a
goddamn
fucking-
Michael Jordan.
He's an Oscar award-winning film
Yeah.
director.
I mean,
to
they
be
got
honest.
they got a lot of like high level actors in there.
Yeah, don't sleep on Ben Affleck just because he's a kind of a joke in certain aspects.
Yeah,
you
Matt
know?
Damon and Ben Affleck, dude.
Huh?
They killed
Matt
together.
Damon.
Both,
I mean,
yeah.
their original film too.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting was an Academy Award winning, and they're in their 20s. You know what I mean? So they have writing credentials. Ben Affleck has both writing and directorial Oscars. He does not fuck around. That is somebody that you revere when it comes to filmmaking, and he's back in that seat. Rumors that he may actually get picked up by James Gunn to direct DC films. So I mean, if you're into like well shot, grittier movies, like Air is gonna be dope or whatever that movie is.
Got Chris Tucker in it.
His return.
His return.
And this whole Tetris deal is kind of that same deal where like the Russian government was like really into it. Like it's a Russian game. You play the original Tetris game. It's all Russian.
Yeah, the end of the when you beat the game. I think my mom and my dad were the only ones that beat the game in the house.
And it does like nuke it, doesn't it, or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it's like the castle, and it looks like it's pure Russian.
Yeah, it's like
I never
it's
beat it.
Russian, and there's like a whole deal where like the Russian government wanted money for it, and this exploitation of it, and how Russia sucks, and that whole deal. So, if you're into that type of movie, maybe. I mean, I'm not
it's
really
nostalgic.
whatever. Like, I mean, I wasn't big into Tetris. The only time I played Tetris was when I was at fucking Burger Town, USA, over there in fucking what is that, Ontario, or what was that? It's like Arrow and.
There was a Burger Town, USA.
Yeah, Burger Town, USA. Back when I was a kid, it was just a burger
I thought
spot.
that was the
you go
burgers
to.
place in Modern Warfare.
Burger Town, USA is 100% a place. It's right there across the street from Quiznos, off of I think Mountain Boulevard.
Bro, there's still Quiznos.
Yeah, they're still
Was Quiznos.
But you know where I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Arrow Highway, and right there, there's like a little burger shop, and that's where they used to go and have like car meetups and shit. And, like old school cars, and you get burgers and fries. Bomb shit. Last time I played fucking Tetris seriously was standing in there waiting for my food to be made in like 2011 and shit. So whatever.
Tetris was cool. It kept my parents and anxiety up for like hours on time.
It's just one of those games where it's like, if you're bad at it, it's incredibly noticeable. And if you're good at it, there's like a way to be good at it. And if you're not, it's embarrassing. And
Because of that game, I know how to pack suitcases and shelves.
Yeah, and
Hell yeah.
moving trucks and shit. I'll
Yeah.
call you next time, don't worry. And shit. Trailer for MLB The Show 23 drops. Kenny?
I mean, it looks good. Like I've seen a couple like tech tests they've sent out to like streamers and influencers, and it looks pretty good so far.
They kind of go through like the eras, don't they? Like the story mode or something like that? Don't they go through like old school baseball?
Yeah.
and,
So
like,
Yeah.
so the one that they did was like I think it's called not seasons. Anyways, they're like the first one they showed was obviously like Jackie Robinson and the Negro Leagues, and like how like what he like dealt with, and like you go through like certain like games and stuff that like are huge in his like development, and then obviously him going, I would assume, like breaking the color barrier and then going into like play for the Dodgers. But I'm assuming it'll be like that for multiple people that they have picked out already, and then like you earn like certain things, like you can earn like their currency or what have you.
I like when games do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They did it for this last one too. Like
Fight Night did it. you know.
There's like certain things that there's like, like get, this person, Ken Griffey had 3 home runs this game. Like, you have to get these like 3 home runs, and if you don't, you fail it. Yeah, and you have to keep trying to do it until you like get it.
Yeah, there was another game that was really heavy on that too. I just like I mentioned was Fight Night, where they brought in like Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston and all that shit. And it's
like legends.
Shit.
But these, the show does it to where they're like, they're daily and weekly like events that you're doing, and so if you do them, like you keep up with them, like you get, packs and whatnot.
Next one on here, for its 163rd update, No Man's Sky version 4.1 releases, adding PSVR 2 support, which you mentioned, quality of life changes, additional expedition to in-game planetary system, and Nexus mission support on Switch and bug fixes. 163rd update. So if you want to talk about committed,
yeah. I mean, we kind of already hit it already. It's just the miraculous like turnaround that they had, like
absolutely like legends.
Yeah, I mean, like just
they will not stop upgrading that game. Yeah, and by this point, it's very playable to anybody. I know, Lucas, you don't like that type of game, and even the first couple hours, I don't like that type of game. But like once you get into it, you can build freely and set up shop and make planets your own and zip around wherever you want. It's pretty fun, and like he said, it's 163rd update period for a 4.1 update. Like, I don't even know too many games that get to version 4. You know what I mean? So good on them. Big one. Like I said earlier, PSVR 2, that's like the game, to go to for me. That's like one of the few reasons I would buy it, that in like a racing game or whatever. But go download that. Microsoft announced its 10-year deal with Nvidia and Nintendo. This comes shortly after both companies weighed in on ongoing court battle revolving around Activision Blizzard acquisition of Microsoft. This deal would ensure Xbox game to stream on GeForce Now. For Nvidia and Nintendo, it would ensure Activision Blizzard games specifically to be streamed via their platforms. And for Nintendo, this means day one releases alongside PlayStation and Xbox for COD games.
At the same time, like, who's getting COD on their Switch day one?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Some people only have Switches, though. Some people can't afford a $600 system.
I mean, that's true. But
you want a 900p resolution, and you could deal with it. You could deal with the controller and all that shit. It at least gets more people into playing COD. It also helps free up Nintendo's appearance of being only like baby games and shit. So this is Microsoft being like, no, dude, we'll work to make sure that there's a Switch ready version on day one release, just like any other console. We'll make sure that you can keep selling these games for at least a decade. That's just our deal. So Nvidia has backed out of their gripes against the EU, court case, I guess, going on with Microsoft and all that. So I think Sony and Google are like the only ones left kind of biting against that one, and we'll see. They're gonna close that deal. This is all just a waste of fucking time. They're gonna get Activision Blizzard, and then Sony is gonna be the only one that doesn't have COD because they fucked around, and now they're gonna have to find out and be like, all right, well, motherfuckers, like, you lost the court case. We're not held to any type of agreement. You guys are gonna pay. Every other system is now gonna have COD except for you, and you fucked around, and this is what you asked for.
Or we're gonna charge you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. How about we do a stagger release for all COD games now? Like, we'll release them on PlayStation, but you know what?
Get a month later.
We don't like it when you guys take games and lock them in for 6 months and no other platform can play them. So we're going to go ahead and do that to you now. So people on Switch are going to be playing COD before people on PS5. How you like that?
Good thing I have both.
They're not going to do that, but at the same time, like, that would just be funny. And that's the type of move that I would make. They don't want me in that position.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
We'll see. Well, I don't know. Microsoft has really only public image in their favor. Like, they don't have any games to sell, so they can't fuck around too much. Cheater marketplace Aim Junkies is hit with a judgment of $4.4 million restitution after losing court case against Blizzard Entertainment. This is a cheater marketplace. They just go and buy scripts for wall hacks and it ruined Destiny. Like, that's what they said. Ruined Destiny. So they were bitching about it. And then you got Actually, I don't even think that was. I think that was actually. I think I said Blizzard Entertainment. I think it was Bungie Entertainment that I meant. But yeah, Bungie won that court case. So they are absolutely fucked. That website is closed, and it's not the first time that this has happened. So hopefully we start getting some more action in regards to shutting these things down. Because am I the only one here that agrees that fucking these cheaters ruin it? Like
100%.
Well, I think every cheater ruins any kind of game, though.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like a victimless crime. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like me. You know, I admitted earlier, it's like, you know, I wait for a 2K game to be almost a year old, and then I go and fucking buy gold on the online marketplace because I'm a savage and shit. I don't give a fuck. That's a victimless crime because I'm not taking that shit to make any type of
But that's
personal.
different, though. These guys are going out and just
But
ruining
like you're
a good
straight
time.
supporting them. Like these guys are like cheating.
Yeah,
Like,
well-
they're seeing through fucking walls and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're like aimbotting.
However, they fall within the same category of like cheating and shit. This is like deep code cheating. You know, the people that do this, you know, they wiggle onto like professional events and live streams and just make absolute jackasses of themselves. Then they go and make their apology videos where it's like, I swear to God, it was the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, they just ruined the whole world of gaming when you want to just sit down and
Chill,
you know,
bro.
throw a
Just
couple
trying
of rounds
to
on
chill.
COD, and next thing you know, you got like some 10-year-old that's hacking.
Yeah.
I
And so
don't need that.
I'm all
Go
for
away.
these places being shut down left
Yeah,
and right. Fuck 'em.
totally.
Fuck them. Activision data leak of employees' information that took place in December is found in late February from a Twitter post. They just literally, it was like some data breach website was just like, oh yeah, we have all this information. It
Oh,
was
hey, by the
data-
way,
yeah, oh yeah, you
it's
guys
all
were-
employee information too.
It was, and I think Activision came back saying no personal information was leaked, and they have the data. So like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But yeah, that happened. So a little
Bob
late
from
on that
IT
one.
is like, I got some mail. I don't know what this is from, how they got my address or anything.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't sign up for this porn magazine. I swear, I swear.
Baby,
Wild
I
Eye
swear.
scientists suggest aliens are creating black holes to store quantum data.
There's the quantum, see?
Yeah, the quantum data.
So that's where James Cameron's going to make this little spaceship thing. He's going to go to the deep quantum surface.
There's probably already a movie like that. Well, like Interstellar is kind of like
It's in the
that,
works.
and the concept. Unless if you've seen
I fell asleep in
Interstellar,
that movie.
The end is interesting, but it does.
It's like 3 hours.
It lends credence to that because like your typical like actual scientists, your non-crazy ones that are coming up with like crazy ideas say theoretically black holes can store massive amounts of data, and that's kind of like the end of that film is like he goes into the black hole and then he's able to like look at his existence and this weird, I don't want to explain it. That's fucking weird, but watch that movie and you'll kind of get an idea of like how time works and data and all this shit. But they're saying they're implying that if they look for particular signals, I think they're called like techno signals or something like that, coming from the black holes, they may be able to deduce whether or not these black holes have been created by alien civilizations to store massive amounts of data. We were talking about it before the show. I was mentioning D-Wave computers. People that don't know, like, I don't even want to get into the whole explanation of like quantum physics, but basically quantum physics is working with physics that we can't explain, but we can see, we can observe. And the way that they transmit data and how things stored is very unique. And if you want to blow your mind a little bit, check up on D-Wave computers and quantum computing, and it gets a little absurd. So this isn't outside the realm of reason if you start thinking outside the box, but I thought that one was weird, so I put it on here. The Flash movie to be screened at CinemaCon 23 for the first time. I mean, that movie looked kind of cool. I'm like, whatever. All the member berries and nostalgia overload. Let's see what's up.
I'll wait for streams.
Yeah, I'll wait for stream for sure, but I'll watch it begrudgingly. I'll have my arms crossed and shit.
When is
Just all bitter thing.
CinemaCon?
I don't know. It's coming up though. It's not too far.
After AdultCon.
I mean, you're probably not wrong.
AdultCon's not even worth it, bro.
This guy.
Coming out of nowhere.
April
I was just joking
24th
around,
to
but-
27th, 2023 and shit.
Don's already got his tickets for AdultCon.
No, I run into my adult figures inadvertently at Comic Cons, like in the Las Vegas Comic Con when I got Brown and Banks' autograph back in like 2009 or something like that.
It's all sweaty.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard that date. I already forgot it, but yeah, that's when it is.
End of April, got it.
Yeah, end of April. Valve injects invisible data into Dota, leading to a ban of 40,000 players who access this information. So basically, like...
why do I get in trouble?
they set up a sting.
That's stupid.
Well, they set up... No, it's actually really smart. What they set up a sting is that instead of going and like manually searching out people, they put in particular data into the game that can only be seen by like... the dev team, the support team.
Oh, okay, I got you now.
So when they also put a log into it to see who accessed that information. So when they released this update, it had this underneath, and anybody that was using cheating software and accessed this hidden information, they got put onto a list, and then Steam just went and or Valve just went and just wiped them. And they're like, we are pretty 100% certain that these people deserved this ban and will, sustain this ban. So good on them. That's pretty funny.
They should have done it to like Catch a Predator.
I mean, that's like the approach that they took. They had to, bro.
Just have the guy come out from the background.
Take a seat right there.
Sir, can you have a seat, please?
Take a seat. And just you go onto your Steam like profile, and that's all it says. Just take a seat.
Have a seat, sir.
Yeah, take a seat right there. Teen from Singapore detained after playing on ISIS-themed Roblox server.
What's wrong with that?
That's the headline, bro.
What's wrong with that?
So I mean, I come from like Arma and shit, so like I mean, sensitive ears, but this is what it is. But like you play on Arma, you got military side, and they're fictitious, but you got military side, and then you got terrorists, like flat out terrorists. In the game, they had like suicide bomb vests and fucking all this crazy shit. Because that's what it is in the game, military strategies and like
because they're terrorists.
Well, like you're in a terrorist situation, it's all technical, and you got to take out the enemies and yada yada. But people would take those assets and make their own servers out of them. So naturally, on RP servers, homie could just go down to the rebel base and buy a fucking bomb, buy a fucking suicide vest, and then go into the middle of town and like detonate it and shit. So I can't really speak too much in that regard. Never did it myself, but it was always funny when you heard Allah Akbar at top of their lungs from a distance, and then terrible. Just a massive explosion and shit.
What was on that?
I mean, it was just funny because it was like the whitest motherfucker you ever seen in your life saying that shit. So it was just funny. Obviously,
yeah, this is funny just because it's on Roblox.
This is funny because it's on Roblox. Now, it's not like ISIS has Roblox servers. It's just that little edgy shits came up with. I mean, I don't know that. It could be ISIS.
It's in a cave.
But it's just it was some shitlords who made a server and thought it would be funny to do like an ISIS theme. So you're terrorists and yada yada. So this fool got fucking locked up. Some little kid and shit got locked up because he was playing on this fucking Roblox server. Get fucked, nerd. All right,
and
anyway.
Singapore too. So
that's probably why. I mean, you do that shit here, I don't think anybody would care. You might be put on a list, but I don't think they're going to come knocking on your door and shit. Warner Brothers announces new Lord of the Rings films are being made. God help us all.
I mean, like, what more can you do with the Lord of the Rings? Like, I don't.
Didn't it finish?
There's a big story there, but I don't know. I don't trust anybody involved with what's going on with any of the shit anymore. After The Hobbit, I was like, okay, I think I'm done. With this. David Zaslav casually announced Mortal Kombat 12 in an investor call set for 2023 release.
Number 12.
Yeah, and like there was no word about this whatsoever. Just randomly, so it was like, yeah, so we got a new Mortal Kombat game.
Okay, by the way,
we got the Suicide Squad kills Justice League. Everybody's like, wait, what? You got to fucking wait. Well, Mortal Kombat 12, what? So yeah, sometime this year they're gonna release it, and that hasn't been refuted. So looking forward to that. So that is it for today's show, and it was a little bit long, but we had a little bit to catch up on too. And some of those were from the previous week. And the show we broadcasted last week was from the week prior, and that's why some of the news is outdated, yada yada, whatever. But we are back. But
because your back was broken.
Yeah, I literally just bent over, and it was like, it's like if you could imagine like a single hair being taut, right, nice and tight, and then randomly it just pops right in the middle. Like that was like how my mind like just perceived my back, and like once that hair snapped, it was like, oh, just fell. I didn't fall, but I slowly got onto the ground. I was like, oh. It took me a few days to be able to walk again, but we're good. I can actually sit in a chair again, which bodes well because I'll be doing some streaming tonight and drinking, getting back into it. Don't know who's available. We'll see what's up, but gotta get back on that. Do apologize skipping the last couple weeks on that. But you can find us at Nerd Chatter Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all that good shit. You can find the Nerd Chatter Podcast anywhere you can find podcasts, including Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify, and basically anywhere else you can find podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and follow while you're there. That'd be much appreciated. All of our episodes are uploaded on the YouTube channel, where we also do weekly live streams, like I just mentioned, playing various games and drinking. If you want to support us there, you can hit that sub button and share some likes and all that good shit. It would help the show grow and reach more people. This is how that algorithm works. If you like to support the show, you can head on over to our Discord where we have free games and Twitter retweet bots. Still chugging along, still working as intended. So you can stay current on everything that we talk about in our show. And if you want to also head on over to our Patreon, you can support us there where you can find some additional segments behind the scenes, and we're going to get into some monthly commentary tracks. Don't know how you guys are looking for today. Maybe we can watch something later tonight. I'm not sure what's up.
We'll see what's up.
And that pretty much wraps it up, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And next week, it's going to be me, Kenny, and Garrett. Garrett's coming in. We're going to be doing some Mando discussion, talking about some Mandalorian Season 3. That premiere happens just prior to that show recording, so it'll be pretty good. Lucas, I think you're working, right?
Yeah, I'll be out.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that show, though.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, Kenny, are you into Mando?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're going to be all giddy on that.
Yeah.
Garrett, as previous listeners know, is like an encyclopedia of Star Wars information, so we'll have some questions for him. Kenny, I implore you to get any questions or hang-ups out of the way when he's here, because he'll be able to answer pretty much anything and give you like background information of shit like completely unrelated but is related, because
right.
He's read the books, he's read the comics, he's seen the shows, he's played the games, he's done like everything. So that should be a pretty good show for the Star Wars fans out there. But for now, we are out of here. You guys take it easy.
Later.